Welcome back, Food FAQers. I'm Mariela.
And I'm Eric.
And this week, we're doing something a little different.
A little fun.
Yeah, we figured, in our worlds, or at least in mine, summer is winding down. Eric is wishing it away, and I already see back to school things and buying pants and shirts and whatever uniform the kids need. So I'm already thinking menu planning.
I'm thinking Halloween. I don't have children, so I don't worry about this. So yes. I'm ready for Halloween to come out in the market.
Right. So like that shift,
Yes.
And with that, we feel like what better way to serve you guys than giving you weekly menus. And every day this week, we're going to show up in your earbuds and we're going to give you one recipe that we have on repeat all the time to help you get ready for this new season of everyone's life, right? Because everything changes when the seasons change.
They do. I like it. I'm ready for a seasonal change. I'm done with the hot weather, Marty.
Yeah. I mean, it's always hot here, but it is. I asked the kids if they wanted to go to the park today and they said no, like, no, please, no.
Do you know that it was like the fourth consecutive hottest day our planet has ever had?
I keep hearing that. Every day is just a little bit fucking hotter. So might as well eat well.
Yeah. Because the earth is dying. So we'll move on from that.
All right. So,
okay. Madi, tell me your origin story of how you came to, being a foodie.
I hate that word. Numero uno. I'm a word snob. So foodie.
Oh, get the fuck over it. I used it. It's on record. Foodie.
All right. So
what would you use? What would you use besides foodie? Give me another word.
I'm still working on it, but I'm like professing my disdain for this word. I don't.
You are fluent in two languages perfectly, and you can't tell me another word for this.
It'll come. How about an enthusiast? I'm a food enthusiast.
That's stupid. All right. Why don't you go ahead and start with that?
Okay, so I always loved cooking since I was young. I used to check out like how to cook in a microwave books from the library when I was little. So it's always something I've loved, right? But once I got not just married, but had children is when I started using cooking as a creative outlet and also as a means to an end. I need to feed these people come hell or high water. It's my responsibility. And that's really how I got to this point and why I think me and Eric have bonded for so many years because I really don't know anyone who I can talk about food with like this.
I think that's when our friendship really bonded. I mean, we were friends before, but when we had the it's funny. I think it's when we had the capability of going to each other's homes and you would hang out at my home a lot.
Yeah.
Happened.
We would get together and cook because we were like kind of old people even then.
Even then we were just like, we're going to stay in and make a meal.
Yeah.
Anybody want to join us?
We'll get some wine at home, damn it.
Right, exactly. Stay up till 10 p.m. So I think, your love of food, started before that. Before being a mom.
Totally. Yeah, I always loved cooking. But the practicality of it and the everyday, like I didn't cook every day before I had kids. Now it's like every day I have to make something. And I think that's where I've become the most creative. I've kind of learned so many shortcuts and even thought about that because I didn't think about that before, How about you, KK?
So, I think my love of cooking came around because when my parents divorced, I was 11 and, my mother, she was a school principal. Mm-hmm. And so she was, working a lot. Yeah. And so in all honesty, my mother is, like we talked about, she's a very career focused woman. Mm-hmm. And so in her retirement years, even she's a college professor now because this is just, she can't stop. So she was a very career focused woman and she was always hired to do consultations for private schools and things like that. And so I was just kind of tired of eating fast food. That's weird when a kid is saying, I don't want fast food anymore. And I was just tired of it.
Yeah.
And I didn't mind going to restaurants. I enjoyed it, but we went out a lot. And I was just kind of tired of that. So I taught myself how to start cooking.
Yeah.
My mother loved it too.
I bet.
It was made. So he was ecstatic. Maria, I'm going to eat a good meal. And, but yeah, I think that's just really where it started and just kind of bloomed from then. And, it kind of allowed me to have a creative outlet And especially as I grew older, you talk about cooking because you have to feed your family and whatnot. And I like cooking just because, in the business world, everything is so hyper structured.
Mm-hmm.
And there's always policy to follow. There's always procedures to do. That cooking gave me a creative outlet.
Mm-hmm.
And I like that I can be creative and I can have fun. And when you and I are together, we cook and we laugh and we talk. So I think that's what really got me into it.
And we were raised by the Food Network. Let's not forget that.
Listen, you and I used to watch the Food Network for fun. Okay.
Like all the time.
Like kids our age were watching MTV. This is dating us.
We were watching Giada.
We were watching Giada. We were watching Bobby Flay. We were watching all
Sandra Lee.
Sandra Lee.
Oh my gosh. And not only just watching, but dissecting everything we saw on these TV shows. Remember we used to love Alton Brown because he would dissect everything to a scientific. He was so much fun to watch.
Was awesome.
The Food Network is not the same anymore. It's all competition.
No, it's all about some fucking competition and shit like that. And it sucks because, and don't get me wrong, I haven't had cable in years. I just have Netflix and Hulu and things like that. But it really sucks because I miss those cooking shows.
I know.
Where they would get on and cook for you. And I just really miss that.
Well, you know what? I actually discovered these two shows. Martha Cooks on Roku and Zoe Bakes on HBO Max. That woman bakes you need to see this.
I'm going to watch it. Zoe Bakes.
Zoe Francoise and it's ZOE. Oh my God. That woman has a gift and also explains well, which is it's cannot be defined. Anyway, so we're going through all this just so you can get to know us better. You can I feel like a weekly menu is intimate. I don't know. In my household, it is I always talk to everybody. What do you want to have this week? And I don't know. And then we always have our favorites and it's something that's personal to our family, really.
I just throw something together at 8:30 at night when I get home and I need.
I get it. But there's things that you do more often than not, right?
Absolutely.
So, there are things that are dearer to you,
Yeah.
So I don't know. I think this is a way to bring you guys into the fold of our daily lives and the things that we do to nourish ourselves and our families and kind of connect, right? Because eating out is easy, but it's not the same.
It doesn't feel good either a lot.
It never feels good. You never eat takeout and say, oh, thank God I did that shit and not eat at home. That never happens.
Correct. Although the other day, I really wanted Popeyes and I was craving it for 3 weeks. Yeah. And then I finally caved because first of all, Popeyes is fucking expensive. Has anybody got Popeyes lately?
I haven't.
It was $42 for 20 tenders.
What?
Fuck me.
Oh my God.
You know that shit comes in frozen when they get it.
Of course it does.
It's delicious. So, but I will say that the difference between ordering out and making even something simple at home, you feel more nourished and you feel full. Cause at least when I eat fast food or eat out or something like that, I tend to get a little hungry. It's just because it's a lot of empty calories. It's just filler.
Right. Or you feel sick. It's one of the two.
Right. Or you feel gross. You gotta take a shower.
And even that won't fix it.
I mean, that's not going to fix it. So yeah. And I do have a bad habit of just picking up the phone and going on Uber Eats, which is hyper expensive as well because you pay all these fucking service fees and then, but I think when we go through this menu, a lot of this stuff is really simple and it's just, it's good food. It fills you up and it is so much better for you to eat home cooked than to eat at a restaurant. And restaurant is fun, don't get me wrong, but
they are, yes.
It is so much better to eat home cooked like this.
I think for the everyday, if you can do it at least twice a week, 3 times a week, you'd be saving yourself a ton of cash and you'll probably have leftovers so you can eat it for lunch the next day. It'll save you money in more than one way and it'll save your health, honestly.
Yeah.
I'm not listen, I would eat out every single day maybe if I didn't have to cook.
Yeah, no,
I don't know. I don't know if I could get away with it. My kids wouldn't let me. They get bored of eating out, honestly, also. But eating at home has so many advantages. So our first recipe, Keita, you're going to kick off this little series that will have 5 recipes. So 1 recipe a day. And then at the end of the week, we're going to supply you with your grocery shopping list.
Yes.
And the first recipe is what, my KK?
It's going to be a red sauce.
Love red sauce.
I love red sauce. So it's really versatile. Mm-hmm. There's multiple things you're going to do with this sauce. So when I make this red sauce, if I'm making a pasta with it or whatnot, I always leave a reserve on the side, and we'll get to that in a moment. So there's two ways that we can do this. So you could doctor up a jar sauce, or I'm just going to tell you how to make a quick red sauce. So what I do is I get 2 of the large cans of crushed tomatoes. And you and I have talked in the past. No, it does not have to say San Marzano on it. It can just be the cheap tomatoes that whatever you can get in the grocery store. Go to Lidl. It's like $1.80 or less for those large cans. I think they're 16 ounces?
At least.
Yeah, they're large. So I get 2 of them, put them in a large pot, get the heat going. And it's really easy. Just throw in some garlic. You could throw some onions in there, throw basil in there, oregano in there, put a little bit of tomato paste, throw a little bit of Parmesan cheese in there. And here's the trick. Put about a tablespoon of sugar in there and let it simmer for 20, 30 minutes and done. You have a pasta sauce. If you want to make it fancy, you got a little bit more time. Before you put the tomatoes in, put some olive oil at the bottom of your pan and you can saute your garlic and onions. It's just going to give a nice more depth of flavor. And that's just, you've got an extra 10 minutes of your life to do this.
It's worth it.
It is worth it. It is hands down worth it. But if you're coming home late from work or things like that, and you want to skip the step, go ahead and skip it. But it is worth it to saute. Absolutely. And then that's it. And then just let it simmer for about, I would say, honestly, Madi, you can let it simmer for 20 minutes. Obviously, the longer, the better.
Right.
But after let it simmer for about 20 minutes, you're done. So now what to do with this pasta sauce? It's simple. You could obviously throw it over noodles.
Yeah.
And have a great dish. What I love to do with this pasta sauce also is in a separate pan, you can go ahead and you can saute some sausages, take it out of the casing and go ahead and saute it just like you would ground beef, and you could pour some of that tomato sauce over it, let the delicious seasonings of the sausage go into the sauce, pour that over noodles as well. One thing that I really love to do with this pasta sauce is put it in the refrigerator. The next day, take it out, heat it up, and put just a little bit of heavy cream in there. And I swear to you, it is one of the best tomato soups you have ever had.
That sounds good. I've never done that.
It is really good. Pasta sauce is essentially what you get as tomato soup. It's seasoned tomato.
It is.
Sauce.
You're right.
That's what it is. And just putting a little bit of heavy cream in there, just giving like a little bit of depth and a little bit more mouthfeel. It's a little more calorie dense, so you can make it as a meal.
Yeah.
And dip bread in it, because you had bread the night before, if you had your pasta, possibly.
Just get a little bread, toast it, rub a little piece of garlic on it. Oh, dunk.
And it is so good. And that's what you can make with this pasta sauce.
And if you're going to make one batch of this, make 2. Because when you have something like this waiting for you in the freezer, you can make tomato soup anytime.
You could what I do with the pasta sauce is I'll freeze it flat in Ziploc bags. And then honestly, you could just tear the Ziploc bag open and put the frozen sauce in a pot and just turn it on. And that's it.
And that's it. And then you can add a little bit of cream. You can make your little toast while you go and take a shower. And then you have dinner ready for you, Pasta sauces, if you're going to take the time to make it, freeze the other half. Really freeze the other half. And freeze it in more than, what I learned? I just made chicken stock and I froze it in a flat, large container, a flat Ziploc bag. And I regret it now because I wish I would have done it in the smaller one so I could portion out maybe half a cup or a cup of the liquid and then I can use it more readily for a recipe. So that's a trick. Do it in a portion size that you think you will actually utilize in one go.
These are ice cube trays.
I never do that. People say that, but I don't know. Especially tomato sauce. I feel like it would stain. Right?
Oh, no, I wouldn't do tomato sauce. I thought we were talking about the chicken stock.
Oh, no. Yeah, that's a good idea for sure.
Yeah, the tomato sauce, no, because you're going to eat more than just, that little serving.
Right. But freeze it in like cup portions and then you will get the most out of it.
Yep.
So red sauce is a win. And I know we've talked about red sauce before, but I think it's so worthy of being mentioned on this weekly menu because you can literally do anything with it. You can make a grilled cheese one day with your tomato soup on, let's say, Monday, and then Thursday or Friday, you can go ahead and toss it over noodles and make a special spaghetti night with some delicious crusty bread. If that doesn't sound great to you, you're in the wrong place.
Fantastic. You are absolutely not in the right podcast.
Then move on.
Exactly. But listen to us first to get the whole download in, then move on.
I like the way you think, my friend.
Always.
Anyway, so this is day 1 of our weekly menu plan that we are going to be giving you. So keep on listening each and every day for another idea so you can start using these next week. So we'll see you tomorrow, guys.
Bye-bye.
Bye.